What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, well, it's Wednesday. We are back with WNBA action. We had a smorgasbord, I want to say, of games that happened yesterday. And we have just teams battling it out for a playoff run. That and a whole lot more on today's episode of Quita in the Morning. Cue the intro.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. And to that extent, we have a lot of players in the WNBA who are getting ready and are making some stuff happen. And Tisha, you get it. Yes, that is exactly what I was trying to do. If you look at the header photo, not only are the players featured in Camila Cardoso, Paige Beckers, Kayla Thornton, and Kelsey Plum, not only are those teams in the hunt for the playoffs, they're on the outside looking in, but we also have the number combination as well. So I thought that was pretty funny. And I'm glad somebody caught that. Okay. As we get into the conversation, guys, if y'all could please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Really does help the channel out a whole lot. Now we will take a glance and actually go into detail when it comes to where these teams are in the WNBA season and what's going to happen next. But actually, before we even get to that, I do want to talk about yesterday's games, because yesterday, we had a boatload of games. We had a boatload of games, we're going to go through it game by game, okay? Now, first, I do want to start off with talking about the fact that the break that we had was not really a break. We went into AllStar weekend this past weekend, and basically it was just 4 days off of sorts, 4 or 5 days off for players. And if you played in the All-Star game, it really wasn't a break at all. You went straight from playing your last game to heading over to Indianapolis to playing in the All-Star game on Saturday to, for many teams, going back home and going immediately to practice so that way you could play on Tuesday. It's one of those things where I understand the WNBA is trying their best to cram as many games as possible into the season. However, the lack of an All-Star break is not a great thing. We do, going forward, need 10 days, roughly. 7 to 10 days of just break from regular season game to regular season game. Now, will that exactly happen? That will happen in Olympic years for sure. But off of that, probably not. But I really do think that these players, you saw with some players not even playing yesterday. Like it's a thing. It's a thing, and I do hope that eventually the WNBA does something to just limit the amount of, or increase the amount of space between regular season games and the All-Star break. Now, again, will that happen? Probably not, but that is wishful thinking on my part. So let's quickly go through the games that happened yesterday. We saw the LA Sparks take down the Washington Mystics 93-86. We saw the New York Liberty take down the Indiana Fever 98-84. We saw the Minnesota Lynx beat the Chicago Sky in significant fashion 91-68. We saw the Las Vegas Aces take down the Atlanta Dream 87-72. And we finally saw the Dallas Wings beat the Seattle Storm 87-63. Now, let's get into these games in particular. That's just a quick hit look. let's get into these games in particular. And we start with the LA Sparks, who are trying. They're really, really trying to make a playoff push. And yesterday they got closer to doing that in their game against the Washington Mystics. Here's the thing, guys. If you all probably remember the fact that that the Washington Mystics are actually a really, really good squad. They have a lot of young players. They have a lot of firepower. They're young and fearless, and it's great to see. Which means that the Washington Mystics can really get anybody, right? This is a team that plays really well, and for the LA Sparks, they come into this game as, on paper, the better team, but in reality, the Washington Mystics have won 2 more games than the LA Sparks. So LA is like, you know what? We are trying for the playoffs. That's what we want to do. And so in order to make the playoffs, we have to go to Washington, D.C. and take down the Mystics at home. And that's what they did yesterday, because they relied on their core 2 in the post, in De'Erica Hamby and Azurá Stevens. These are 2 of the better post players in the WNBA. And when they get going early, when you look for them early, when you give them good shots early, good things happen. And De'Erica Hamby was the result of that. She finished the game with 24 points. She shot so efficiently in yesterday's game. 10 of 14 from the field. I know there was some talk about her being snubbed as an all-star, and she came out the gate rested and ready to go, right? Double-double for her, 14 rebounds, 3 assists for De'Erica Hamby, and her partner in crime, Azurá Stevens, was not far behind with 15 points of her own. We got to continue to see those players kind of rock and roll together. The thing I really like about the LA Sparks is, yes, sure, you have 2 really, really good post players in De'Erica and Azurá. You have a just sort of like all-around guard in Kelsey Plum. But, guys, you also have Rickea freaking Jackson. The small forward for the LA Sparks, the player who just continues to impress me with her play and with her ability to shoot. Yesterday, we ended up seeing Rickea Jackson with 22 points in this game, 4 threes for Rickea Jackson, and that's something that this LA Sparks team needs to continue to see. This is not the first game that we've seen Rickea Jackson put up some big numbers, but like really, really good play for her. I'm excited to continue to see how she does from here on out. And yeah, I just love to see it. Once again, we get some production from the bench from Rae Burrell, Julie Van Loo, who is really, getting the hang of being with her new team. She got some significant minutes yesterday. Played fairly well yesterday as well. And then, of course, you also have the other Julie, in Julie Allemand, who ended up having 8 points, 4 rebounds. Kelsey Plum had a bit of a quiet game, I would say. Only 3 threes for her, 11 points total. But, I kind of give a lot of significant grace to the players who played in the All-Star game. So I wasn't expecting that much for them. I was expecting for them to kind of be a little bit rusty, expecting them to not do as much, and we didn't see a fire game from Kelsey Plum, though I gotta say, Kelsey Plum was passing that basketball, right? She was passing that basketball, which is good to see. William says, glad Burrell is okay. Yep. Yeah. Rae Burrell was poised to have, in my opinion, a breakout season, and it's unfortunate that she's had to deal with injury. But as the Los Angeles Sparks kind of goes towards their playoff push, Rae Burrell is going to be a huge factor in that. And guys, remember that Cameron Brink is supposed to be back somewhat soon. We were previously told the end of July, We're getting towards the end of July. The end of July is basically here. And so we are going to see. We are going to see what happens. Okay. Yep, I am sporting the QLS apparel merch. Shirt says, "Joke's on you. Women's basketball been lit." Okay. So for all the people who are newer to the game, it's like, hey, welcome in. But it's been lit. This has been the place to be. This has been the place to be. Okay. Anyway, for the Washington Mystics, we saw some, good minutes by, Shakira Austin, Kiki Ira-Finn, Brittany Sykes, but ultimately, defensively, they couldn't stop LA. And if you are allowing the team that you're going against to score 93 points, like that is just, you got to get better on the defensive end. Like it's just one of those things where the LA Sparks, they shot 51% from the field. For the Washington Mystics, hey, yeah, you can score. You got 86. 86 is a pretty good scoring number. However, you have to play some defense. Okay? You got to play some defense. Just saying. Just saying. Next up, we got to talk about Jonquel Jones, who made her return back to the Liberty yesterday. And I gotta say, guys, the Liberty Bibberty, they have been missing the mess out of Jonquel Jones. Jonquel Jones, we all know that when Jonquel Jones gets a double-double, it's pretty much guaranteed that her team is going to win. And yesterday, she was 1 rebound shy of a double-double, but she still rocked and rolled when it mattered the most. Ultimately, Jonquel Jones finished with 18 points, 9 rebounds. She was a big freaking deal. Now that Jonquel is back, now that you got Emma Mieseman on her way, wow. This New York Liberty team is looking really, really good. And I will say, the Indiana Fever held their own in this game. Through a significant portion of this game, I was like, okay, well, maybe the Fever got a chance. I came into this game thinking that the Fever didn't have a chance at all. But right out the gate, who do we see? Kelsey Mitchell, who just, was fire. One, maybe there's a benefit to not having to travel for the All-Star game and her being able to still like sleep in her own bed and do all that normal stuff. Maybe that helped out because, the way Kelsey Mitchell played yesterday, it was like, geez, did she even play in the All-Star game? You know what I'm saying? Like it seemed like she was like rested and ready to go, which was like a shocker to me because again, I was expecting a lot of the All-Stars to not do that great, not because they're not great, but because they're a little bit tired, so it's understandable. But Kelsey Mitchell rocked and rolled, but ultimately she was not able to cook enough for her 29 points was not enough to take down the New York Liberty because, Jonquel Jones is back. I'm talking the 3-point shooting Jonquel Jones, the player down low who you can't really stop, Jonquel Jones. The Jonquel Jones who's going to get at you on both the offensive and defensive end. That Jonquel Jones, she is back, y'all. Brianna Stewart and Leonie Fibich also had 17 points in yesterday's game. But yeah, that's the story. The story to me is Jonquel Jones, okay? But yeah, she's back. She's back, y'all. And the Liberty are about to be unstoppable as the games and weeks go by. Because again, eventually on a plane we will have Emma Mieseman joining this team as well. So, fantastic play. And then we go to the Chicago Sky. My Chicago Sky versus the Minnesota Lynx, guys. I did a full recap, a hour plus long recap of that game. To watch that, you can go to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Me and Steven Gardner We chopped it up and talked about the game in detail. So I'm not going to do as much as I did then because that was a full hour recapping the game. So if you want to hear my detailed thoughts about yesterday's game between the Chicago Sky versus the Minnesota Lynx, go over to CSGO Sports YouTube channel and watch the live stream that we had last night. But suffice to say, the Chicago Sky did not come out to play in the second half. This game was actually a very competitive game in the first quarter and throughout most of the second quarter, but ultimately foul trouble for Camilla and just overall frustration from the rest of the team led to dumb passes after dumb passes, led to bad offensive fouls on screen actions, led to just trying to get through multiple defenders and turning over the basketball. There was just so many mistakes in yesterday's game that it's not a thing that you can really pinpoint one player over another. Like, yes, the stars of the team struggled, right? Angel Reese almost had a triple-double, but not a good one. She had 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 turnovers. Crazy, crazy, crazy numbers. Like, that's not good. That's not sustainable. And I would say a good 5 of those turnovers were unforced errors. They were unforced errors. Yes, the defense of the Minnesota Lynx are fantastic. Fantastic defense by Minnesota. However, some of those turnovers were self-inflicted. Just doing a little bit too much on the offensive end, and just going a little bit too fast. And sometimes that happens. It's not great. It sucks, but at the same time, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. And the Chicago Sky got to pick it up, right? You cannot have one of your best passers on the floor having 9 turnovers. Like, it's not good. But again, it wasn't just Angel, right? Camilla, she has to work on her angles. The amount of shots that she missed around the basket was crazy. Like, you can't continue to have that as a starting center, right? When it comes to just the overall play of everybody else, 5 turnovers for a player like four turnovers for a player like a Camilla, right? 3 for Rachel Banham, right? You cannot continue to have that in the future, right? And we also have to acknowledge the fact that the Chicago Sky that's weird. I have a weird graphic issue. Oh, there we go. The thing you have to acknowledge is that the Chicago Sky are missing 3 starters, basically. You're missing Michaela Onyekwere, who has a knee injury. You're missing Ariel Atkins, who has a leg injury. And, of course, Courtney Vandersloot is out for the remainder of the year. You know what I'm saying? So you're missing a lot, and you're having a player like a Rachel Banham play the point guard role. She's not a point guard. Rachel Banham has shown herself to be a big level 3-point shooter in the last 10 or so games ever since she got added to the starting lineup. But really, you need other people to get her the basketball. Rachel, as the starting point guard, you're gonna struggle against a team like a Minnesota Lynx because you really do need real guard play. And on the bench, you have a real point guard in Mariah Jefferson, who does not get in the game. And I understand you're trying to develop your rookies. You're trying to develop Haley Van Lith more. I understand that. But there are just some times where I just want to see Mariah on the court and just see what she could do in terms of just getting the basketball where it needs to be and not making very many mistakes. Like, I just want to see it just once. I do want to see it. I mean, we're paying her enough money. Might as well see her out there doing something. But yeah, another loss for the Chicago Sky. They get killed. The run starts late in the second quarter with like 3 minutes left to go, and it continues on into the second half where the floodgates open and Nafisa Collier is Nafisa Collier. She is absolutely fantastic once again, but that's not really a shocker at all. Nafisa finishes with 19 points in yesterday's game. We also see Kayla McBride knocking down threes yesterday, and and doing well. I believe she had 19 points as well in yesterday's game. And, the Minnesota Lynx just rock and roll, and they easily win again. Thank you so much. Tierre says, good morning. Keep shining brightly. I appreciate it, Tierre. Remember, guys, shine bright like a diamond. Kat says, Quita loves Sky, but Sky doesn't love her back. I mean, I don't know what that means. Okay. Let's continue on, guys. Let's continue on. Because yesterday, we also saw the Las Vegas Aces take down the Atlanta Dream, guys. As I said earlier, the score of that game was 87 Aces, 72 for the Dream. And when it comes down to it, guys, this was an example of a really good win for the Aces, which is great. This is a team that still is not themselves of sorts, but yesterday we saw a masterful game per usual, really. Masterful game from the likes of the former MVP, A'ja Wilson. Now, while this year the FISA seems to have it on lock, A'ja Wilson is still cooking, okay? Let her cook. I'm just saying. 24 points for A'ja, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. Guys, she was doing just a bit of everything. And again, guys, remember, she was an all-star. So she was in Indianapolis partying it up and hanging out and doing all the stuff that she needs to do. And yet and still, she still dropped 24 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. And it wasn't just her, guys, because in my opinion, the second most impactful player on the court yesterday was none other than Dana Evans, guys. Dana Evans, y'all know I've been rocking with Dana Evans since she was traded to the Chicago Sky a long time ago. And I got to say, Dana Evans had a really good game yesterday, and a huge part of the win for the Chicago Sky. For the Las Vegas Aces, guys, 14 points for Dana, 0 turnovers for her. This is someone who played some pretty big minutes off the bench. As I said before, I really do like the move of Dana going to the Las Vegas Aces, right? It's every game is not like yesterday, right? But when it clicks, man. When it clicks, it clicks. And yesterday she was fire. She was absolutely fire, guys. Again, besides the awesomeness of A'ja Wilson, truly, in my opinion, the reason why they won was because of Dana freaking Evans, okay? I'm just saying. And also, remember, she's coming off the bench. She's coming off the bench and doing what she is doing. So great job for Dana Evans. And for everybody else, Jackie Young, 14 points. Again, she struggled to shoot overall. However, I don't put much stock into that because, again, she was at AllStar. Now, Jewell Loyd, I was hoping that the small AllStar break would help Jewell Loyd kind of get herself together and become the player that we all know that she is. That has not happened. Well, again, we're just one game into post AllStar break. And so my eye is still heavily on Jewell Loyd to see, can she consistently turn the corner and get back to the Jewell Loyd that had the scoring title a couple of years ago? Can she get back to that Jewell Loyd? That's just a huge question mark. I don't know. I was hoping that the AllStar break would kind of help her a little bit, and we'll continue to see what happens. But yeah, still still a bit disappointing in watching just the overall play of Jewell Loyd. Just someone who I know is fire, but is just not playing like she is at all. So we'll see if that ends up changing. But again, shout out to the awesome A'ja Wilson, who just does it again. I mean, she's just great. She's just A'ja Wilson. And for the Atlanta Dream, I mean, you got Alicia Gray, who did her thing, right? She did her thing yesterday, 24 points for her. But you got your two post players that didn't do much, right? Again, Brianna Jones, she was at AllStar, so again, I don't put that much stock into her because, again, tiredness and all that stuff. But like Brittany Griner, they do need more. Yes, you shoot efficiently, but like you need more touches for the big women down low. You need more touches, you need more opportunities for them to make an impact. Because when you don't have a player like a Ryan Howard on the floor, Ryan Howard was out yesterday. Remember, guys, she was replaced in the All-Star game, and she is still out with a knee injury. Not having Ryan Howard does kind of limit opportunities for the Atlanta Dream guards because that's one less person that you got to worry about, right? That is one less person you need to worry about. But yeah, Brittany Griner, only 9 points. Brianna Jones, 7 points in yesterday's game. And yeah, Alicia does her thing, but just not enough. But I got to say, shout out to Jordan Canada. 12 points, 6 assists for her. All right, let's move on to the final game yesterday. And it's the game that I want to talk a bit about. And that is between the Dallas Wings and I gotta say the Seattle Storm. Here's the thing: I came into yesterday's game expecting it to be close, but ultimately expecting the Storm to win. That was until I found out that Skylar Diggins was not playing yesterday, and so that was a huge. So we talk about the score, 87-63. I would chalk a good amount of that up to the fact that that Skylar Diggins was out yesterday. Now, with that being said, the Dallas Wings, y'all. Can we give a shout out to the Dallas Wings? Can we in chat? Can we give a shout out to the Dallas Wings? Can we give a shout out to Arike Ogunbowale for having a fan-freaking-tastic game? It seems like she was like, you know what? I was not an all-star. I did not play up to snuff early in the season, but I'm about to start getting ready to cook in the second half of the year. And she did just that yesterday. 20 points for her. She shot pretty efficiently, 7 of 12 from the field. Here's the thing. We all know Arike can get on heaters. We know Arike can cook. We all know that she can make some stuff happen. But she has, to be fully honest, which I think she'll agree with, she has struggled this year. She has struggled this year, and there's been just an overall question of, can she work with Paige Beckers long term, right? And on a season, like in terms of like stats, yeah, sure, Arike is shooting around 15.9 points a game. That's her average this year, right? But when you look at her shooting field goal percentage, it's abysmal, right? Overall, she's not shooting well from the season. But yesterday, she's shooting around 35% from the field. But yesterday, she was over 50% from the field. Arike is a scorer. But the thing that Arike had to work on and most likely did work on over the break was her ability to be efficient. Okay? Her ability to be efficient. That's what the Dallas Wings need. Right? Whether it's 15 points, whether it's 20 points, whether it's 25 points, whatever the point total is, the Dallas Wings need Arike Ogunbowale to shoot 45% or more or better from the field. That's what they need. And yesterday she was over 50%. And what did they do? They get the dub. Now, again, Skylar Diggins was out, and the Seattle Storm don't play that great. However, Dallas showed up to play, and it wasn't just Enrique. It was Liaru, who continues to do her thing. I love to see it. I love to see Liaru. She almost had a double-double. She was this close. 8 points, 10 rebounds for Liaru. I always rock with Liaru. When she was with the Chicago Sky a couple of years ago, like I saw the potential in her. And I really do like the idea of Liaru with the Dallas Wings. I think it's fun to see. Here's the deal. This Dallas Wings team is coming together quite nicely as the year has gone on. They're getting better and better. They're starting to gel. Right, Paige yesterday, 14 points, six assists for her. And once again, we continue to see the rooks in JJ Quinterly and Isaiah James do their thing as well. They had like 9 and 7 respectively. DJ Carrington is coming off the bench for the Dallas Wings, and I gotta say, I don't mind it not one bit. I don't mind it not one bit. She comes in the game. She can bring you some good defense. But ultimately, I do like the lineup for the Dallas Wings. I do think that this team is starting to get themselves together. And my only hope is that continues. Guys, here's the thing. I want to see teams get better, right? Again, as y'all know, I'm a Sky fan. So, yeah, sure, I want this guy to win every single game. But I also want to see progress for teams. You know what I'm saying? And to start off this season, the Dallas Wings were atrocious. They were terrible in terms of collectively. But we are starting to see them get it together. And that is really good to see. I think that's great. I want to continue to see progress, and we'll see if Dallas can make that playoff push. It's possible. The numbers are there. The numbers are there for them to make the playoffs. It is going to be tough. It is going to be very, very tough, but the numbers are there. I'm hoping that they can make a good effort of it late. Okay. All right, guys. We'll talk about what in the world is happening when it comes to the playoff push in just a sec. But first, guys, here's the deal. We're in the WNBA season. It's summertime, which means that it's a lot of games that are happening in the WNBA. We got games on Amazon Prime. We got games on ESPN. We got Ion. We got League Pass games. We got a lot of CBS Sports, lots of places to watch basketball games. And some of those places require subscriptions. It requires a cable bill. It requires money that you have to shell out to watch a particular thing. And sometimes, I'm talking specifically about basketball, but there are some times where you're just subscribing and stuff, just subscribing. And sometimes you look up and you're like, wow, where did all my money go? And guys, that is where Monarch Money comes in. Monarch Money is a place where you can go to just find out where all of your money is going. You all probably have experiences. I know I have, where it's just, you get to the end of the month and you're just like, well, wow, where did it go? What happened? What happened to it all? I had X amount of money in my account, and now it's all gone. I just see charge after charge after charge after charge. Well, with Monarch Money, you can get your spending under control. Start managing your finances to actually build the life that you want, because Monarch makes managing money simple, even for us with busy lives. With all of your accounts in one place, your credit cards, your investments in one spot, you'll know where your money stands without the hassle. And the best thing about it is Monarch is a tested product, right? It is the top recommended personal finance app by users and experts with over 30,000 5-star reviews, guys. So financial stress, we all know, is on the rise. It's a big deal. The economy is not economying, and with a product like Monarch Money, you can kind of keep control of where your finances are going, what you're doing with it, and so that way you can create a plan for it going forward. So get control over your finances with Monarch Money. Use code Quita, Quita, at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That is 50% off. I mean, you can't beat something that's 50% off. 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code Quita. All right, guys, let's move on. Angie says ESPN, Ion, CBS is extra from basic. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It is. It is. But guys, I do want to talk about where we stand right now in the WNBA. But before we do that, I do see a comment that someone said. Kim is saying, Quita, please address a Sky trade. So, well, let's address a Sky trade. Well, the Chicago Sky, just like any other WNBA team, can make trades. There is still time to make trades. However, in my opinion, the Chicago Sky should not be making any trades because no trade is going to benefit the Chicago Sky this year. A thing to note is around 80% or so of players are free agents coming into next year. Why does it make sense to make a trade for the, why it makes no sense for the Chicago Sky to make a trade when 80% of the WNBA is a free agent next year? And if you make a trade, you're likely going to have to give up future draft picks and or one of your core players. It makes no sense to me. So yes, can the Sky make a trade? Yes. Should they make a trade? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And will I be upset if the Sky make a trade? Yes. And I think to a certain extent, at this point in the WNBA season, with what is around the horizon, I don't know if it actually makes sense for any team to make a trade. Because again, guys, think about what you have to give up. The trade deadline is on August the 7th. And remember, guys, 80% of the league is going to be a free agent. You're going to have to give up a whole lot. You're going to have to give up a whole lot if you want to make some trades, and it doesn't make sense for really any team. You know, I don't think it makes any sense. So unless your team is about to win a WNBA championship and they're one player away, I don't think it makes any sense. But again, I don't think that's just a Chicago thing. I think for most teams in the WNBA, it makes no sense to make a trade because, remember, most of the team are free agents. Okay? Tulu says only makes sense for contenders. Yeah. But even with contenders, it doesn't make sense in my opinion, it doesn't make sense for the Liberty to make any trades right now. Doesn't make any sense for the Minnesota Lynx to make any trades. Seattle, maybe for Seattle. Phoenix, I don't think it makes any sense. And so, for the most part, no. All right. Amelia says, doesn't New York have to trade to get Emma? No. They wouldn't need to. Well, Emma's not in the league right now, so they wouldn't need to trade her. So she's not in the league, so they're just signing her. She's not a trade is like when you're trading a player for another player or a player for draft picks or whatever. But she's not in the league right now, so they don't have to. They don't have to make a trade, is what I'm trying to say. All right. All right. Okay. Let's continue on, guys. Let's continue on. And actually, real quick, I wanna show y'all something real quick. And guys, remember, the time for teams to be doing stuff was waiving players before they lost the ability to. Before stuff was guaranteed. That was the time to do stuff. Now you are where you are. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Okay, let's look at the standings as of right now. So number one in the standings, of course, we have the Minnesota Lynx. Guys, we are officially past halfway for the WNBA season, and we got a lot of teams that are in the playoff hunt. We have a lot of teams that are just jockeying for home court advantage. And we have a lot of teams that are just trying to figure out what to do for next year. They're trying to plan out for next year because they know this year is kind of washed. So with that being said, let's look at what is going on with all the WNBA teams. We're gonna go team by team, and let's go through this. Okay, first up we got the Minnesota Lynx. Guys, the Minnesota Lynx is the measuring stick right now. They have the MVP favorite in Nafisa Collier. She is on a tear this year. And defensively, y'all, it's not very many teams that can deal with the juggernaut that is the Minnesota Lynx. They have the best defense in the WNBA. This is a team that has one of the best coaches in the WNBA in Shura Reeve. They have one of the most consistent starting lineups in the league in Atlanta Smith, who is a very, very underrated defensive player. She is an anchor for this Minnesota Lynx team, and she has been rocking and rolling all year, and she just continues to get better and better, especially on the defensive end for Atlanta Smith. You got Atlanta Smith at the 5. You got Nafisa Collier. You got Bridget Carlton, BC, which is what I like to call her, who can play defense, but can also knock down shots. You got Kayla McBride, the three-point assassin. And then at the head honcho at the top, you have the stud bud herself, Courtney Williams, who just continues to be a mid-range assassin and continues to be just someone who can find her teammates and make her teammates better. This Minnesota Lynx team is rocking and rolling. There's a reason why they only lost 4 games this season is because they are a steady Freddy team. They are a team that knows what they do well. However, the thing that is a concern for the Minnesota Lynx, in my opinion, is the fact that this team, while they have a great starting lineup, they don't have much when it comes to their bench, right? When it comes to their bench, they got 2 players that, for the most part, will give you something. That is Natisha Heidemann, and that is Jessica Shepard. Beyond those 2 players, the bench is not consistent. And there are times that we have seen this season where the starters had a hard time. And Shura Reeve couldn't really go to the bench because she didn't really trust them. So Minnesota, that is a cause for concern, is their lack of consistency off the bench for players not named Natisha Heidemann and Jessica Shepard. That is something that is definitely a cause for concern because the starters will not always be on. So how can the bench lift up the starters when they are struggling? But also, I got to note that the Minnesota Lynx are undefeated at home. So if this team is able to stay at the top of the WNBA and they're able to have home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs, well, you better watch out because this team is absolute fire at the Target Center. Absolute fire. All right, next up in second place, we have the New York Liberty, who are 16-6 on the season. This team is, they saw a little bit of struggles, right? It's sort of like how quickly the shine wears off when Jonquel Jones goes down, right? This is a team that started off, 9-0, I believe. Then they started to hit a wall, right? But the good news is Jonquel Jones is back, and Emma Miesemann is en route as well, which means that the front court is alive and well. It's alive and well. And the New York Liberty are about to be rocking and rolling. It started yesterday because, again, Jonquel is back. But as time goes on, as eventually Emma comes to America and gets acclimated with the team. Now, how long that takes, I'm not sure because her work permits or whatever has to get expedited and whatnot. So, we'll see how long this takes. This could take a couple of days. It could even take 2 weeks or so. We don't exactly know when Emma will suit up because, again, guys, she's an international player, so there's some legal stuff that has to be done for her to be able to suit up for the Liberty. But this team is looking good now that Jonquel is back, and they're going to look even better with the likes of Emma Miesemann. At number 3, we got the Phoenix Mercury. I mean, guys, here's the thing: the Phoenix Mercury team is a team that has dealt with a bunch of injuries. Right? AT was down for a little bit. Ka is down. Kalia Copper is down. Satu Sabali, and this is a team that, despite the injuries, despite the big three barely being on the court together, this team has found a way to rock and roll because Alyssa Thomas has really held this team all together. And can you imagine, guys, once Ka and Sabali are completely healthy and ready to go, man, you better hold on because the Phoenix Mercury are coming. Their record is pretty solid, right? 15-7 on the season. If they are healthy in September, they can absolutely crash the parades of several teams because this is a team that, yes, not only is really talented at the top, but they also have a ton of role players, including some huge rookies. My favorite is Monica Koa-Makani. She is definitely my favorite, and she's just been rocking and rolling. Kat Westbell has been doing well. Also, this team is filled with players who you wouldn't think would be making that big of an impact, but they absolutely are, and it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good for the Phoenix Mercury. They're in a really good position to make some moves. And again, guys, they just added DeWanna Bonner. So, good possibilities for the Phoenix Mercury. Again, in my opinion, the head honcho now is the New York Liberty, but Phoenix is right there. Phoenix is right there, and it absolutely can play spoiler. Absolutely. Next up, we have the Seattle Storm, 14-10 on the season. The Seattle Storm is a team with a bunch of star power, right? You got Skylar Diggins, you got Gabby Williams, you have Nneka Ogwumike. You got a lot of top talent at the top. However, it's a similar thing with Seattle that as with Minnesota, where you don't have a ton of bench production, right? Consistent bench production. And if one of your big three are out, you struggle. Like, for example, yesterday's game where the Seattle Storm got killed because Skylar Diggins was not playing. What I want to see as the season goes on, I want to see consistency on both offense and on both offensive and defensive end, and I want to see Dominique Malunga and I want to see Ezzy McMagor do more on the offensive end. Like I think these two players they have a lot of potential, a lot of potential. And they could make some stuff happen. Yeah, I forgot about this. Yeah, Tulip says Nneka crashed out. Yeah, she went off on was it Geisa Sorter? Was it Louisa that Nneka went off on? Like she went off yesterday. And I was like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen Nneka that mad. Like she was very upset. Very, very, very upset. That truly is something that you don't see very often from Nneka. But yeah, that was kind of wild. That was kind of wild, for sure. Shamika says, I thought Seattle was going to be a real contender. Again, similar last year. On paper, this Seattle team is a very good squad. However, in reality, they're not consistently putting the pieces together. Right? They're not consistently putting the pieces together. Which is unfortunate, right? Because again, on paper, this team is a very good team. Very good team. Jamie says Storm has too many vets and top players to be playing so bad. I would say playing so inconsistently, but yes, yeah, they do. They got a lot of vets on this team, a lot of vets, and just trying to put the pieces together. Trying to put the pieces together, and again, showings like last night's showing against the Dallas Wings, like that's pitiful. Even without Skylar, that's pitiful. So, yeah. Next up, we have the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream is 13-10 on the season. And, hey, for the Dream, this is a team that at times have lived and died by the three. And also, they've lived and died by healthy players. Ryan Howard is out. She's still out. That's a huge piece. If we have Ryan Howard out as we go towards, as more of the season goes on, we possibly will see the Atlanta Dream fall further down the standings. Because, yes, this team has Alicia Gray, and Alicia Gray is great. Yes, this team has Brianna Jones, and Brianna Jones is great. But for spacing reasons, you just need Ryan Howard on the floor. You need her on the floor. Even if she's having a bad shooting night, the spacing is necessary. It's absolutely necessary. And we all know how much she can get to the basket. We all know how she can knock down threes. Like, it's pretty good to see. Okay? But you gotta have health. And for the Atlanta Dream, if they can be fully healthy as we head into the playoffs, hey, who knows? Anything can happen. Because, again, you do have a team that is a three-point happy team that can get hot. And a team that, if they can get more from Brittany Griner, can not just be successful from a guard perspective, but can be successful in the post as well. Because we all know Brianna Jones, yeah, she didn't have that great of a game yesterday, but we all know that she can bring a big spark to this team in the post, but you need a little bit more from Brittany Griner as well. And Tulip, you're right. Says, don't forget Ryan's defense and playmaking too. She's been a great secondary playmaker. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. We go down the line real quick. We got the Las Vegas Aces. This Las Vegas Aces team is a team that is trying to get it together. Right? They are 12-11 on the season. This team, this is not your normal Las Vegas Aces team. This is not the Aces that we remember. They lost some vets. Chelsea Gray is still not her normal self. Jewel Lloyd is still not her normal self. Asia Wilson is still Asia Wilson. And they have Nelissa Smith. And Nalissa, the hope is that Nalissa just continues to integrate herself with this team. Yes, she's already earned that starting spot, which to me, yes, does make sense. She does need to continue to start as the season goes on. But I want to see her continue to be more of an offensive threat for this Aces team, because the more that you can unlock offense for Nalissa, the more everything just opens up for the Las Vegas Aces. Now, is the Las Vegas Aces a good team right now? No, I don't think so. But they are a team that definitely should make the playoffs, and they are a team that could even make some noise in the first and second round if they can get more from Nalissa, if you can continue to see Jackie be Jackie, and if Jewel Lloyd can actually return back to where she used to be. That's a lot of ifs, but that's all I got. I'm trying to think positively about the whole situation. That's all I got. Okay. Next up, we have the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever is another team that has a lot of ifs, but could make some noise. So here's the deal. The Indiana Fever are dealing with injuries, right? You got Caitlin Clark, who has missed a significant portion of the season. I got a huge portion of the season she has missed due to injuries. And that's very unfortunate, right? That's really not a great look. And as a result of Caitlin sort of being in and out of the offense, in and out of the lineup for the Indiana Fever, the offense and defense has been very sporadic. Very, very sporadic. And the hope for the Fever is that you just allow Caitlin to take her time. We don't have a timeline of when she may be back. Supposedly she was seeing another doctor the other day. So we'll see what happens on that front. But the idea here is you should just assume that Caitlin may not be back for the season. But guys, there is still a way for the Indiana Fever not to just fully solidify that playoff spot, but to possibly make some noise in the playoffs if they can really continue to button up their defense while also playing straight to their strengths, which is Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, right? Kelsey Mitchell had a fantastic game yesterday. We need to see Aaliyah Boston continue to get good looks. Now, the best looks that Aaliyah Boston gets is when Caitlin Clark is on the floor. I mean, I think that's a pretty easy thing to see with your eyes. Like that's a fact, right? The best looks, the most dominant that we see Aaliyah Boston is when Caitlin's on the floor and Caitlin's giving her the ball. Best player to get a ball to Aaliyah Boston. However, since Caitlin's out, we need to see more touches for Aaliyah in that pick and roll action. Just dump down passes down low to her. Like more opportunities for Aaliyah Boston to score. And that could prove to be some huge, huge, huge success for the Indiana Fever. But again, we want to see the Indiana Fever just play straight to their strengths, and that right now is Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. Now, the hope is that you get Caitlin Clark back before the end of the season. So if I'm the Indiana Fever, I'm saying, hey, take as long as you need, until you feel like you are as close to 100% as possible, and try your best. Like because if Caitlin can come back in the playoffs, even if she misses the rest of the season, if she can come back in the playoffs, there's a chance for the Indiana Fever to make some noise in the playoffs. It really is, because you'll have your point guard back, you'll have Kelsey Mitchell continuing to cook, and then you're going to further unlock Aaliyah Boston. Right? And of course, Ryan Howard is going to do her thing. Or not Ryan Howard. Natasha Howard is going to continue to do her thing as well. But yeah, there's potential for this Indiana Fever team. It starts on defense. And the hope is that, Caitlin is able to come back eventually, either right at the playoffs or slightly before the playoffs. Chicago Teacher says, No Caitlin Clark, no playoffs. I think they make the playoffs without Caitlin. I don't think they win a series without Caitlin. All right? I don't think they win a series without Caitlin. But, hey, who knows? Anything is possible. So I think it'd be really cool if we did see that happen. Chicago cheated. Come on now. Like, you just saying some nonsense. Come on now. Come on now. You really think that? You really think that? Come on now. Come on now. All right. Ooh, let's wrap it up. We have at the number 8 spot, we have the Washington Mystics. The Washington Mystics are a team that, again, has surprised me. They have a young core in Kiki Ira-Finn, Sonia Citron, and Shakira Austin. They have a fantastic vet in Brittany Sykes. This team is looking good. They have a new coach in Sydney Johnson, who is taking some risk and making some stuff happen, which is fun to see. And we'll continue to rock out from here and see what the Washington Mystics do. Now, do I think they make the playoffs? They're kind of waning right now. But if they did, I think that'd be pretty awesome. That'd be pretty awesome if they did. Okay. And Janera says they won a Commissioner's Cup without her. Yes, the Indiana Fever did do that. They did do that, and I had them losing, but they ended up beating the Minnesota Lynx. And hey, anything is possible. Anything is possible if you just believe. All right, and just rounding out the rest of the outside looking in crew, we have the Golden State Valkyries at number 9, the LA Sparks at number 10, Chicago Sky at number 11, Dallas Wings at number 12, Connecticut Sun at number 13. Now, technically, do all these other teams still have a chance to make the playoffs? Yes. Mathematically, yes, they still have a chance. Practically, no, they don't. Like, the Connecticut definitely does not have a chance. I think Chicago probably does not have a chance. Dallas, I think, has a good chance because they are starting to get it together, and I think we're about to see a run from the Dallas Wings. For the LA Sparks and the Golden State Valkyries, I think it's a possibility that they have a chance to make the playoffs. That's a possibility. It is absolutely a possibility. We'll see what happens. But guys, that is basically the stream. I went over it a little bit over an hour. But yeah, that's basically the stream, guys. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Let's leave with this. Raider Bo says Brittany Hicks MVP. So if y'all don't know the Brittany Hicks thing, that I don't know the guy's name, but he hosted the ESPYs, and he was basically like, shout out to Brittany Hicks in the crowd or whatever, and all the people there, they started clapping, like Brittany Hicks in the WNBA or whatever. They started clapping, and Brittany Hicks is not a real. It's not a real person. Well, probably it is a real person, but she doesn't play in the WNBA. And I just want to highlight the fact that if you ask, I would say if you ask the majority of people who attended the ESPYs, if you ask a lot of them, they would say they love the WNBA, they support the WNBA. They do all this stuff. They love the WNBA. The WNBA is awesome and blah, 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 blah. And then when you mention a name of someone who is not in the WNBA and you say they're in the WNBA, they all believe you, which means they don't actually watch the WNBA. They don't actually. It is a just verbal thing where it's like, oh yeah, I support. Oh yeah, but you really don't, because you don't even know who's in it and who's not, right? I'm just saying. I just thought that was a hilarious moment of like, truly, y'all don't watch, y'all don't know what's going on, because when I heard that, I was like, who is that? That person don't play in the league, but yeah. Anyway, now all them jokes, I ain't like them like that. But that one I actually thought was a really good one, because it just proved that like a lot of these people who say that they rock out with the W and they support and they do all this stuff, and they don't. they don't even know who's in the WNBA and who's not. And the WNBA is still relatively small, where like it's to me, maybe it's because I'm a hyper super fan or whatever, but to me, like, you can pretty much name anybody in the WNBA that currently is in the WNBA, and I'll be able to tell you whether or not they actually are in the WNBA or not. Like, whether or not it's like a real WNBA player and not just like some random person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny, and it told a lot about the people in the room. And also have people would just cheer for anything, even if they have no idea what's going on. So anyway, that is the stream. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. And guys, I hope y'all have a great day. LL Kune says they don't watch, they just look at stats and hate. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who don't watch it. I don't think, even the people who are not hating, I think a lot of people just don't watch. And so, yeah. Okay. Stephanie says, awesome people on the internet, make today great and be kind to each other. Facts. Guys, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as you all go out. Tell neighbors, tell a friend that Quita in the morning is happening every single morning. And also, rock out with your girl. Rock out with the awesome people of the internet. I haven't said this in a while, but let me say it, guys. If no one has told you that you matter, well, let me tell you, you matter. You are important, and I'm happy that you are on this earth. Guys, hopefully you all have a fan-freaking-tastic day. Be kind to one another. Tell somebody that they matter, because they truly, truly, truly do. Guys, let me find my end screen, and I will see y'all first thing in the morning tomorrow, because tomorrow, I love ya. Tomorrow, you're only a day away. Bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set, go.